Greetings, fellow subjects of the Royal Crown. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to City Tales Medieval Era. Episode 4, Preparing a Feast for the Baron. I don't have any tasks that I can immediately work towards, because the Castle on the Hill task here requires resources that I don't have access to yet. Oh, and I digress. May I borrow you a moment for your time, my liege? It seems that His Majesty, your most esteemed father, has sent a messenger to our humble town. He has already arrived, in fact. Please introduce yourself. Save you, young liege. I am pleased to finally make your acquaintance. My name is Lewin, and I was sent here by your father to deliver a most important message. I shall read it out aloud. To my precious child, gracious liege of Yodaville. I am delighted to see how far you've brought the modest lands I have entrusted to you in such a short time. That's why your estate has been chosen to welcome a most important guest currently traveling through our country. Baron Yanis Polyak Dure, a noble from the eastern realm of Gudor. He shall arrive shortly. Please ensure he enjoys his stay amongst your people. He is an ally, and most importantly, a friend. I trust you will extend to him all the courtesy and respect. Lewin will also collect the taxes you owe. Being my child does not exempt you from such matters. He shall then remain by your side and assist in your endeavors. He's a good fellow, though a bit stiff at times. I hope this missive finds you well. I am proud of you, and I trust we shall see each other again soon. Duke Leon of Montalba. That is all the letter says. There you have it, young liege. As per your father's request, and despite my stiffness, I shall accompany you from this point on. I believe taking care of those taxes should be utmost priority. Pay the taxes to your father. So that is gold, wheat, iron. Done. Already had it in spades. There you have it, young liege. Your father will be pleased. Now, it's your time to turn your attention to the matter at hand, our esteemed guest from Gudor. Speaking of which, my liege, I've already have a few ideas on how we might welcome him properly and make his stay most memorable. How about a grand display of our culture? We shall serve him delicacies he's never tasted and show him sights he's never seen. Surely that would leave an impression on him. Oh, how old-fashioned of you. Nobles care little for simple pleasures. What we need is a display of wealth and power. Something that will make him regard our liege as truly worthy of the title. You can't be serious. Any city in the country can boast its wealth, but our culture is what makes us unique. Please, my liege, the choice is yours. I trust you'll make the right decision. Actually, the choice is yours. You viewers. Choice. So we can go with culture or wealth. What do you guys think? It looks like Team Culture coming out pretty strong. So here we go. There's strength in our culture. I knew I was right to place my trust in you, my liege. Once again, I am honored to stand by your side. So be it. I trust in your judgment and hope it bears fruit. Quest concluded. We got Lewin, a smithy, a stone workshop, a sandpit, and a mortar shop. Okay. Killian, young liege, may I have your attention for a moment? I was wondering if you let me take some stale bread from the hall's pantry. Why, you ask? Please, young liege, do not have an ounce of trust in me? What nefarious deed do you expect me to commit with stale bread? No one's going to eat it. Might as well take it, no? Look, I just need some bread. I'm not asking for much, am I? Surely you can do me this favor. Give some bread to Killian. Okay, because I can't really work on the castle right now, let's go ahead and give bread to Killian. That will be what I work on. So, that is our, oh, hold on. Thank you again for putting your trust in me, my liege. You've made the right decision. Now I reckon we should get to work quickly if we want to get ready by the time the Baron arrives. As I said, our culture is our biggest asset. And what's better to show off our culture than a banquet? A feast of local delicacies will surely impress our guests. I've taken upon myself to ask our companion, Dawnbreak, to help in this matter. I believe she has experience in this domain. Yes, I suppose you could say that. I used to work in the kitchen, yes. We should start by training more people. See, hosting a banquet is nothing like the usual evening service of an inn, our people are not fit for it yet. While we work on that, I am planning the menu. Thank you very much. Dawnbreak, you seem to be in your element. Thank you for trusting me. I won't disappoint you. So, a feast for kings. Begin preparations to receive an esteemed guest. So, we need an autonomous eatery. Punisher, thank you for the resub. So, let's first work on the bread. So, bakery takes wood and flour to make bread. I don't have flour yet. So, if we go over to the agriculture tab and over to the wheat field, I don't yet know how to make flour. Oh no, here it is. So the flour requires a windmill, and a windmill requires a spinning workshop. So on our flax farm, in this fallow field, we'll build a spinning workshop to be able to spin flax fibers into usable fibers, like raw flax into fibers. Raw flax into fibers is also potentially going to allow us to make clothing, which is one of the main requirements of getting the townhouses from tier 2 or tier 3 to tier 4. So if you check these houses here, most of the houses, or all the houses, are going to require clothing, plus some sort of complex meal, whether it be bread or venison with mushrooms, or I think there's another, yeah, here's another dish, apple cider. So once we have the spinning workshop and we build up a little bit of a supply of the fibers, I'll be able to build a windmill, and the windmill will be able to mill our wheat into flour, and then we'll be able to build a bakery to bake the flour into bread. Now, when we do the flour into bread, one thing that we will need is probably additional woodcutter, because despite the fact that Kellyan is now maxed out and is boosting this woodcutter's cabin like enormously, it's not enough wood to probably keep up with the bakery's requirement. So we got to keep that in mind as well. All right, so here's the spinning workshop, and we will put Lewin
certainly
in charge of it, the new advisor. Once we have enough fibers, we then can install a windmill in this fallow field. So one of the reasons why agriculture zones have one empty field is for the production facility for flax. It's the spinning the spinning workshop. For the wheat fields, it's a windmill. So there's this empty slot here on every agriculture building for that exact purpose, which is why I wanted a large agriculture fields to be able to support as we grow. At this point, I don't think it would be too much of a problem to upgrade the churches or the chapels into churches, as I do have the resources for it, and we will, if we want to get level 4 townhouses, I will be required to support that anyway. So while we're trying to build up the here, let's track the fibers here. As we're trying to build up the fibers that we have, the other thing that I would like to do is, knowing we need an eatery. So let's look at the requirements of the eatery. Where is it? It's not a service. Oh, there it is. The eatery requires mushrooms and boar meat. So I'm going to need the forester to collect mushrooms. So I will try to put one here. And then it's also going to require a trapper for the boar meat, which I'll put here. because the Feast for Kings requires an automated eatery, and an eatery needs to be within a level 1 entertainment and level 2 market. So I'm also going to have to displace a house somewhere. I'm going to displace a house here to build an eatery. So now we have, we're working towards the bread still, and once I get a little bit more fibers, but we are also working towards the Feast for Kings. But that means I'm going to need 3 of my companions to be displaced and put into the Forester, the Trapper, and the Eatery. And all 3 are almost built. Now, if I'm not mistaken, every single one of my houses are now tier 3. So it's a matter of spinning up what we need for tier 4. So the Forester's Cabin is a gathering task, and let's give that to Turtle Sandwich.
Okay.
And then the Trapper's Cabin is also a gathering task. Let's give that to Arthur.
Okay.
And once we have some boar meat and some mushrooms, I'll turn on the eatery. There's no point in doing it now because I don't have the resources for it. Crimson, hey there, my liege. The weather is lovely, wouldn't you say? Makes you want to sit back and watch the world go by. We've made such tremendous progress already. Surely we deserve a moment to unwind, right? And before you go accuse me of being lazy, well, no, go ahead. You can call me lazy. But admit that a nice cup of cider would be perfect right now. What do you say we share one? Give Crimson some cider. Ale's on you? That works for me. So, working towards that, let's get an apple orchard going. So I'm going to have the apple orchard trace the old farm here. And I also want it to be size 4. So that's only a 2. There's a 3. And I don't have enough planks to support a 4, so I'm going to wait for more planks until I get a 4. How's the game been treating me? Ah, wonderful. I'm quite pleased by it. Alright, eatery lacks workforce. Do I have mushrooms now and boar meat? I have boar meat. I have mushrooms. Okay, so let's put someone in the eatery then. Person best with food is Joker, but Joker's working in the planks. I have plenty of planks right now, so we're going to move Joker over to the eatery. And Joker will need to be in the eatery until the eatery hits level 2 to enable automation to fulfill the Feast for Kings. Maybe what I'll do as a compromise is to make a slightly smaller apple orchard so that we can just build this sooner than later. As much as I would like it to be size 4... I could wait for a size 4. We're already 34 out of the 40 beams. So I'll just leave that plot there. Unless I need to do some other sorts of administration. So in terms of resources, flax is down. It's quite possible that at this point we have so much linen rope queued up that I don't exactly need the linen rope production in the stringing workshop to be running. Because 250 linen rope is a lot. And flax is only down a little bit. So it might make sense to at some point pause the linen rope production until I need more of it. Instead of building another flax farm. Tiles and clay are fine. Stone is fine. Iron's fine. Mushrooms are breaking even, but I just built it. So it will get faster. And I could always set up another mushroom gatherer. And the boar meat is also even. Basically, all the boar meat and all the mushrooms are going straight into the eatery, but that's fine. I mean, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. And we're starting to get the venison with mushrooms, which is one of the complex foods required for a tier 3 to go to tier 4. And then, we'll eventually gather some bread and cider as well. So speaking of cider, we're 1 wooden beam away from being able to... Oh, there it goes. And as that builds, one of the sub-facilities I want, once I get 10 more planks, is a cider press, so that we can build up a supply of 20 cider. And also cider is one of the requirements for some of the houses to go from tier 3 to tier 4. So we're going to use cider for both those reasons. One of the things I don't yet have is clothing tailoring. Right? I don't have a tailor shop up and running. So once I get... At this point, I do have enough fibers for the windmill. So let's get the windmill going. And then I'll start saving up for the other industries that we need for clothing. Basically, I want my citizens to be fully supported into their upgrade to tier 4. So for the windmill, we need 15 beams, and for the apple orchard cider press, we need 10. So once I'll track specifically wooden beams, once we have 10 and 15, I can get those upgrades going. The well doesn't require beams to upgrade, so I might as well get the laundry going in the center well, because it's not using resources that I have earmarked for any other purpose. But I won't do both of them, because I do want the fibers for the windmill. Alright, the apple orchard's all set. Best farmer. Oh, shoot. So Joker's the... maybe Dawnbreak? Yeah.
It will be done.
I'll move Dawnbreak over there to start working on the apple cider for the feast. Or, really, for Crimson. But then eventually for the feast. There's laundry. So laundry is just one of the random requirements that a tier 2 house might have. So for instance, this townhouse wants a laundry and a church. So as long as the other resources are met, the services are already met. What services have I not supplied? I think that's all of them. Oh, there's no laundry supplied out for these houses. That would come from this well. And we do have 10 wooden beams now. So before I click on the Feast for Kings, let's also get the apple orchard upgraded for the cider press. And this one up to laundry as well. My liege, now that the kitchen staff is ready, it's time we gather the proper ingredients. I'm quite handy with pots and pans, but alas, I don't have a green thumb. It's funny because I put her in charge of the apple orchard. So I've asked Joker Head for some help. Yes, Your Highness, Dawnbreak had told me about your plans. It sounds really exciting. I'm not a farmer, but I'll try my best to help you. Firstly, we need to speed up our wheat production. We sent a hefty share to the Duke in taxes, so our reserves are running low. We need plenty to prepare for the banquet. Let's make sure our windmills are running and properly manned. So it's telling me to have an autonomous windmill. And as soon as I get 15 wooden beams, we'll do just that. Speaking of wooden beams, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to employ someone who's good at construction. So at the moment, I have lots of planks, so I'm going to move Pedersk from the sawmill to the carpenter workshop. So Pedersk can boost our beams. So our beams production went from... Well, once Pedersk gets there, is going to go from 1 to like 1.25 or something. All right, Pedersk is just arrived. 1.15. Nice. And also, the production cycle's faster with Pedersk there, too. The cider press is almost done being built, and then I'll need to move someone in there as well. Alright, here it is. Cider press. I don't really have anyone that's good at processing. Lewin's probably the best. Lewin's been the one processing our fibers, though, and the fibers are still needed for the windmill. So instead... How many clay tiles do I have? 72? Maybe I'll move Crimson in here, because I have a lot of clay tiles. Although I'm sure I'm going to need to move back to clay tile production, because clay tiles is one of those building materials that you use a bajillion of. So now we're just waiting on 20 fibers, 15 planks. We're at 11 and 16, so it's coming pretty soon. We'll get that windmill up and running. Once we have that windmill going, and I'm working towards all of my current quests, minus the castle on the hill, I'll work towards getting clothing for the tier 4 upgrades of the townhouses. Because all of these services, if I'm not mistaken, for every townhouse that we have in town has been fulfilled. So the services are done, now I just need the goods. $15 and $20. Alright, here we go. Windmill time. So we're working on the cider. I just put Crimson on his own cider, which is fitting. We are building the windmill for the Feast of the Kings. Oh, which reminds me, I don't yet have the bakery for the bread, for the rough and gruff. What I was planning on doing is setting up another district. Let me analyze where the next best district might be. So, I've got, well, trade and religion here, but not pharmacy or entertainment or education. So that's 3 of 6. 1, 2... I think this spot is the best spot. It's also right around where the city hall is. This spot I have... actually, this spot here doesn't have trade, but has, well, religion, pharmacy, and entertainment. So if I built a trade spot here, this might be the best spot. So let's do it. I'm going to pause the game for a minute and try to plan this out to use as much real estate in this corner as possible. It's a steep slope, though. There we go. So this will need a market. But that's all it will need, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So the only thing that's missing is a market and a school. I don't necessarily need to worry about the school if it's going to max out at tier 3. So I'll try to make it as large as possible while retaining the services it needs. So 7 might be as big as it gets. Done. And then knowing it needs a market, let's put the trade plaza in. And then the reason for this is so that we can put a bakery. I am currently out of gold, like entirely. But that will be fixed as the population grows and as our quests are completed. So we'll get gold from Heart of Gold, Cider Order, and then gold from the bread. And if I need more money, I can always expand out this way for more tax-providing districts. Okay, windmill time. Shoot. Maybe Lewin has automated the fibers, so I'll have Lewin move over to the windmill now. And as these shelters pop up, I can have them immediately go to, like, townhouses. I may need a little bit more gold first for the market square. But this area will be thriving. The other thing is, as soon as I have the beams, 15 beams, I want to get the bakery in as well. Before I have to displace a shelter. Although, it's a net neutral amount of money if I do have to displace shelters. There we go. Bakery's in. And now I'm actively working on 3 of the 4 quests I have offered over here. Once this bakery is producing. And I'll probably move Joker. Yeah, I'll move Joker into the bakery once the bakery's built. Because I don't need the eatery to be worked at anymore.
It will be done.
What decorations would make sense for a bakery? Plop some tree stump walls. Really roughing it. I mean, the bakery burns wood for bread, so we can think of that as the fuel supply. Alright, Heart of Gold is done. See, what did I tell you, my liege? Isn't this the life? Just living in the moment, cup in hand, talking and laughing with a friend by your side. Because that's what we are, right? Your blue blood and noble title don't change the fact that you're still human, and humans need friends. All of us do. What do you say? I've got your back, and you've got mine? Sounds like a sweet deal, eh? In any case, here's to our future, and to our friendship, my liege. And 30 gold. Alright, the bakery is currently out producing the flour supply, but it's not a big deal. It might run down the flour supply, but it'll eventually even out a bit. So let's keep upgrading the new district out this way. And the cottages here require a tier 2 market square, so I gotta get the market square up and running first. And with this new bakery, we are also now fulfilling the Rough and Gruff quest of giving Kellyan bread. Okay, all of these cottages are now going to be townhouses, which will be good for taxes. And now, all we're missing are clothes. So instead of knocking down an already made house for clothes, what I would like to do is to build another district and to include clothing making into that new district. So the new district, I think the plan is to build new districts out this way. It's going to be really easy to supply religion to them because there's a chapel right here, or a church right there. Trade is going to be a little trickier. So the first district I build will have the trade, but probably, as I said before, not the pharmacy or the entertainment. So the plan is to have multiple districts around here, and then have like pharmacy and entertainment supplying it from the outside. Kind of like I did from over here, and kind of like I did from over here. So this first district is going to be a little weird shape because I'm trying to capitalize on adjacencies. So we want to bring it in so it can... Oh, I just canceled it. Good job, me. We want to bring it in so it gets access to the well, which means it might need to be over this way a little bit more than I had previously designed. It still doesn't have well access. Guess it's gonna have to be... Oh, I want it 5. Oh, there we go. There's a 5. I wonder if I can get it up to 6. I could settle for 5, but if I can get it to 6, that'd be best. No, I think 5 is what I'm going to have to settle on. That's fine. So there's a 5 district. I'm going to hide the overlays. And then this district is going to be the one where we make clothing in the tailor shop. So that we can start to build up the supply for our townhouses to become full-fledged, lovely tier 4s. So this zone here is probably not going to go to townhouses until I add more entertainment, because as you can see, the entertainment doesn't overlay. Or it does include education, which is good, but it does not include health either. So it's missing health and education for this zone. So tailor shop, who is the best craftsman? Crimson. Instead of pressing more cider,
okay,
we can have you make some clothing. Some pretty weird shaped cottages, but that's just the form factor we're stuck in. And we're done with rough and gruff. Right, thank you, young liege. I'll put this bread to good use. You won't have to throw it away in a day or 2. You still want to know what I'm doing with all this bread? Trust me, young liege, there are things best left unknown. Dear me, you're a stubborn one. All right, aren't you? All right, I'll tell you. I want to feed the ducks by the river. There, you have it. Happy now? They love bread. It's not great for their stomachs, though, so they only get a little. Just a treat. Well, thank you for the gold. Alright, so the last thing we're working on is the autonomous windmill. And all I need to do is, it's about done. Lewin's almost done upgrading it, or training an apprentice, I should say. So that won't take very much longer. Done. That's perfect, Your Highness. With such workers, we don't have to worry about the flour for this foreseeable future. I was told this flour was due for a bakery in town. Yes, the one you're working at. Apparently, your menu, calls for a good deal of bread, so we'll need to make sure our bakers can keep up with demand. So I need to deliver 30 flour. So the issue here is the bakery that we have is baking the bread faster than we're producing flour. So for this to work well, what I think I'm going to do is keep Joker working the bakery until the bakery becomes automated, and then pull her out of the bakery so that she's not boosting the bread production, so that we can actually catch up on flour, because we're a net negative on flour right now. So I'm going to wait until we're a net positive on flour. Hello, Lawrence. Thank you for the sub and welcome. Okay, so the bakery is now automated.
As you
Joker's
say.
been furloughed from it. We're now in a net positive flour, albeit it's barely net positive. But what I can do is I can now pause the bakery to build up that flour supply to fulfill the quest, and then put Joker in on some other production. Maybe go back to Cider.
Yes?
Or go to Cider. I don't think she ever worked Cider before. So you can see some of the arrows around town. These arrows indicate that there are houses ready to go from tier 3 to tier 4. So the one closest to our town hall, this one, will be the first one. That's a milestone. Our first manor. Look at that thing, huh? Unmistakably more wealthy than its surrounding houses. For sure. Alright, to back things up a little bit, we do have the castle quest. So, let's analyze the resources the castle quest requires. It requires cut stone. And cut stone needs iron tools. So, we'll need a smithy. And we'll need a stone workshop to build up the materials for the castle. Additionally, the castle requires leather rope. So leather rope requires the linen rope and a tannery. And we don't yet have the tannery either. So there's a lot of prerequisites needed to fulfill what we need for the castle. And I can start working on that. But that inevitably is going to require more districts and more houses. So what I would like to do is to build new districts out to this side of town, which will allow the population to support those new things. So this new district is going to probably require another market square, another pharmacy, another theater stage, and another well. So these districts are also going to need to be rather large because they're going to need to support services as well, because there aren't services out this way. Actually, the first district could be here, and I can eke out... I think this one would just need a chapel. No, it will also need trade. Now that I analyze it. Because it's missing... I'm not worried about education. That is only something that goes from 3 to 4. But it will need trade in a chapel. So what I can do is make it as large as possible so that this one district provides both of those things. And then this one district here, providing a chapel and trade, can then support the adjacent zones as well. So I'm going to wait for this to fully build and develop before I plan any more districts. And as you can see, I've been planning it so that it doesn't really encroach on the woodcutter's hut. We still have that one original woodcutter's hut, and somehow I haven't needed more. Not yet, at least. Because I've been careful about expansion. Oh, Lewin wants something. Save you, your highness. I wish to once again express how honored I am to be at your service. As you know, your most esteemed father speaks highly of you, and I can already see why. Now, may I be so bold as to ask a small favor of you? You see, when I left the capital, I made sure my dear wife and children were well provided for, with enough coin to live comfortably while we're away. Or I'm away. I believe you understand, as a result, I now live rather modestly myself, and so I hoped you might witness your boundless generosity once more. Would you be willing to help me in these trying times? Give gold to help Lewin. Sure, done. Thank you, Your Highness. Truly, there are none as kind and agreeable as yourself. I have no doubt you are destined to become a magnificent ruler. This will allow me to live in comfort, even welcome my family every now and then. Thank you once again. I give you my word. As soon as my work here is done, I shall repay in full. I'm not a man who leaves debts unpaid. Well, you are the miller, after all. Thank you for tuning in to City Tales Medieval Era, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, everybody.